Welcome to the Frayed Brush. I'm Big Aaron. We're continuing the series on the Justice League diorama. Many of you may remember this from the last video. It's the base for the entire thing. However, this is not the one I did in the video. This is the one I did in the video. I went to prime it black, just go ahead and get everything set in those shadows, and I dropped it so you can tell all of the fencing that broke off. It was a significant amount of it, and I looked at it and I was like, I'll use it anyway. And then I got to looking at the diorama itself, the picture of how it should look, and decided that wasn't going to work. So I reprinted it, and so far have managed to not drop this one so far. So we're going to go ahead and get some concrete / stone painted. And as you can tell, this is still missing the same pieces as the other one. I did push it a little bit further down the stone, filling it. I used the Bondo glazing and spot putty again, like I did on the one in the video. Still really pleased with the way it turned out. Got a couple of different finished areas on here, but this is primered over, so I'm hoping the first coat of paint will take care of that, but we'll see. If it doesn't, we'll adjust from there. So we're going to start off with airbrushing a coat of Monument Pro Acrylic Dark Neutral Gray. The more I looked at it, the black was okay. It definitely filled in the shadows, but I wasn't sure if I wanted the shadows completely black or not. So we're going to go with a dark gray and work up from there, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to get the dark neutral gray airbrushed on, and we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so the Monument Pro Acrylic Dark Neutral Gray is dry, and I must say I like this a lot better than I like the black. Not even counting the sheen of the black. I think the gray is going to look a lot better. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do some dry brush work, and we're going to start off with some P3 Iron Hole Gray, and this is going to be kind of a heavy dry brush. Because we really only want to leave that dark neutral gray in the shadows if we can. Again, like in previous videos, my dry brush game is lacking, so we're gonna see how this turns out. Get a little bit on there, and I don't want to do like a real bright concrete brick, whatever. I do want it to be a little bit darker because the colors on the heroes themselves are gonna be really bright. We're just gonna sit here and go over the brick with this lighter gray. It's not a lot lighter, but it is light enough that you can tell a difference. It looks really, really light on the camera. It is not that light in person. So we're gonna get this lighter gray on there, and we will be right back. Okay, so our Iron Hole Gray from P3's dry. You can definitely tell a difference between the Monument Pro Acrylic Dark Neutral Gray and where I put the P3 iron hole gray on. Okay, I like the way it's looking so far. So now we're gonna go into some P3 Bastion Gray. I hope it's not too big of a jump. This is kind of a green gray, as you can see. So we'll see how well it does. I wish P3 would get away from their flip top caps. I like the, you figure, you know, you got Chimera Color, which does flip top caps, but it's a dropper. You know, Monument Pro Creel does dropper, Reaper does dropper, Vallejo does dropper. I've even got some Badger Minotaur. They do dropper. Skill 75 does dropper. Warcolor does dropper. So P3 and GW. Not sure what you guys are thinking, but get with the program. So let's get some of this Bastion Gray on here. Let's see. Oh, the dust where I was sanding. So this is going to be lighter than lighter dry brush, lighter wet dry brush than what we did before, because we want to cover up even less of it now. So looks like that might not have been too big of a jump at all. It's slight, but you can tell it like right in here. There's a little bit of the green. So there's with the Bastion Gray added. There's without it. You can definitely tell some color variation in there. So we'll keep going with it. Yeah, I like the way that's looking. It's giving it a good look. So we'll get that knocked out, get the rest of it done, and we'll be right back. Okay, so our Bastion Gray is dry. I like the colors that are going on here. Looks good. And of course, this area, and this area is where the gargoyle goes. I'm still working on that, getting that pref, but it'll be done the same way, essentially with the base of the dark neutral gray from Pro Creel, then a wet dry brush of the iron hole gray, and then going back over with the Bastion Gray. So it'll be the exact same process we do for this. So the next part is the fun part, where you get just go kind of crazy and get to use the biggest brush you can find. I got a cup here, and I got some non-oil. We're just gonna wash the whole thing, okay? So there's that. We'll get a little bit of water. Okay, that looks good. We don't want it to be too strong. Then what we'll do, we'll just get this big brush in here, get it soaking wet, and just start washing the whole thing. And we're not, well, I say I'm not worried about where it puddles at or anything, because anywhere it goes, it's just gonna give me more color, all right? It's gonna fill in a little bit darker, those natural pitting and everything that's in the stone. It'll cover up some of our imperfections from the print, or where, not imperfections in the print, but imperfections where we prep the print, you know, removing supports, stuff like that. And we're literally just gonna soak this whole thing. And this isn't the last step, so we can be messy with this. Not too worried about the puddling in places. I think the thing I would be most worried about is like some bubbles sometimes by taking the brush across, you know, an uneven surface. You might get some bubbles. I'd get rid of the bubbles. And then this wash is going to take a few minutes to dry. And there's a huge difference between the colors in person and the colors that are coming through on my TV. They could be, you know, different once it gets like on the video. But there's that, and you can tell all the detail that black wash pulled out. So I like the way it's going so far, and then we'll hit this up real quick. I haven't done too much with the top yet because I'm not 100% sure what the smoke section is going to cover up and what it's not, but it's a small enough area that should be showing on the top that we can kind of just fix that as we see fit. And that's one of the reasons I didn't necessarily brighten up the inside edge of the stone ledge here, because if I'm interpreting the sculpt correctly, a lot of that's going to be in shadow anyway. So we don't want it necessarily the same brightness as the outside where the natural ambient light's hitting from the environment. But there's that. So that's going to take a few minutes to dry. And then once that's dry, we'll come back for the next step. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so while the non-oil's drying, we're gonna go ahead and start hitting up the fence area. Go ahead and get a base coat on that. I'm using carbon black from Chimera Colors for that. Wet my paper towel a little bit. And for this, we're really just gonna put a coat of black over the fence, because I see this as being more of a wrought iron type. And this Chimera Colors is extremely flat. No, you can already tell how much darker that's gonna be. So we're gonna get this black put on, and when we come back, hopefully the black will be on and the non-oil will be dry, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so we got the black put on the fence, so you can definitely tell where that's been done. It looks like our Nolan oil is dry. So now we're going to see if we can go to the final layer of highlights, and we're going to use Crixbane highlight from P3 for that. Going to go ahead and downgrade the dry brush a little bit to a little bit smaller, since the hopefully last layer of dry brush will be in much smaller areas. Pretty much just going to take this and, you know, brush it over some smaller areas, just pick out some highlights. So this is really going to have to be wiped off quite a bit, and we'll test on an area to see how it goes. Well, you can see it for sure. It's hard to pick out on the video, but you can tell it in the in person. We might want to go just a little bit more though. I got this overhang, so we don't want to hit anything that would definitely be hit by the curvature of the stone. So I think that might be a light enough color to use. So we're gonna get this knocked out, and we'll be back in just a second to see how it looks. All right, so I think we're kind of done for now. So I hit the what might be the last highlight with the Crixbane base on the stone itself, and then I went with some Chimera color iron hue, and I hit up the highlight on the fence. Okay, so that pulled out quite a bit of detail on there. So I'm finishing up printing the smoke, which sits on top of this. So once the smoke is done and we get that prepped and in place, we'll get a lot better of an idea of where we need to go with the stone here and the fence, once we see what's covered up, what's overhung, stuff like that. So pretty pleased with it. This is where we're at so far. I think it's looking good. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about any of the paints used, process, anything like that, just leave them in the comments below. Subscribes are always appreciated. Be sure and hit that thumbs up for the video. Hit that notification icon so you know the next time the Frayed Brush puts out a video. And until next time, remember, tell them Big Aaron sent you.